muzykanty, a chociaż mnie nie znacie, bo i ja nie mam pieniążków, a to mi poczekacie.
Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how I contour and highlight my face. Yes, so let's get into it. First things first is concealer, and I am using my NARS Creamy Concealer. My concealer is about 2-3 shades lighter than my actual skin tone. Firstly, I'm going to apply it underneath my eyes, and I'm kind of creating this rectangular shape to cover my super duper attractive eye bags. Next place I'm applying my concealer is in between my eyes and down on my nose. I am being really gentle with the concealer in between my eyes because my forehead is quite big naturally, therefore I don't want to make it appear even bigger. I am creating rectangular shape in between my eyes and I'm bringing it in a straight line down my nose. I am also using my concealer to highlight my cubic bow, and I'm just painting 2 small straight lines from my nose towards my lips. I'm also going to place a small amount of the concealer right underneath my cheekbones and also from my lower lip down to my jaw. Now I'm going to be moving on to contouring, and to contour my face I am using by Tom Ford. This is Shade and Illuminate palette. I am using the darker shade. Firstly, I'm going to apply it underneath my cheekbones, then I'm going to move on to sculpt my nose. I am just creating 2 vertical lines on the side of my nose. This is going to make my nose appear smaller, or skinnier should I say. Next, I'm going to apply a little bit of shading on my ginormous forehead. Yeah, my forehead is quite big, therefore I am being quite generous with it. Next thing I'm doing is sculpting my jaw. I'm going to try to make it look a little bit skinnier than it actually is. Therefore, I am trying to bring the darker shade towards my face rather than to my neck. After applying all this, I am looking quite strange, but don't worry because all this is going to be nicely blended. To blend all this together, I am using my all-time favorite, and this is by Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. Make sure it's wet before you start using it because it works its magic when it's wet. I am going to be using one end to blend the lighter shade and the second end to blend the darker shade. I'm going to start to blend my contour, and I'm starting from the dark shade, and I'm just pressing the blender into my skin, like literally I am trying to blend it into my own skin. Dark shade from my cheek, I'm trying to lift up. Dark shade from my forehead, I'm trying to bring to my hairline, and then the dark shading from my jawline, I'm bringing down to my neck. The dark shade on my nose, I'm just trying to blend into my skin without moving the product too much. And I'm moving on to the other side of my beauty blender, not to mix the colors, remember? And I am going to be blending it underneath my eyes. Again, I'm trying to blend the product into my skin without moving it around too much. This step is fairly easy because you don't have to bring the product in any of the directions, you literally just blend it into your skin. To set my highlight, I like to use from Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette, and I like to use banana powder and the lightest shade in this palette. I mixed those 2 together, and I'm going to be setting all the areas that I previously highlighted with my concealer. To set the contour, I'm using by MAC Give Me Sun bronzer, and this is totally my favorite bronzer at the moment. I am just using small brush to lightly shade all the areas that I previously contoured with the darker shade. I'm doing very gentle and light moves with my brush, and I am trying to do round moves, and this will allow me to spread the product evenly and avoid harsh lines. After this step is completed, I like to move to an actual contouring with powders. To contour with powders, again, I am using by Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette. My palette is in a light shade. I'm going to contour underneath my cheekbones. I am using Real Techniques flat brush and I am going to place the product right underneath my cheekbones. I am going to paint a straight line and I'm going to try to blend the product upwards. Following this step and using the same brush, I am going to place the product on my jawline and on my temples. And again, I'm trying to blend the product upwards on my temples and downwards on my jawline. Let's move on to nose contour. My nose is quite big, so I like to take time to contour it. I'm using Flat Brush by MAC, and again I'm using the same powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I am going to place 2 straight lines on my nose. I am not going to bring those 2 lines right to the end of my nose because this would make my nose appear longer, and ain't nobody wants that. Therefore, I'm gonna stop in around 3/4 of the length of my nose. I am going to bring the lines towards my cheeks, and after this step is completed, I am going to try to cut my nose, and basically I'm going to place a little bit of the product right at the top of my nose, and this will allow for my nose to appear way shorter than it actually is, which is brilliant. I also like my lower lip to appear a little bit bigger, therefore very gently I'm placing a little bit of the product right underneath my lip. To blend my nose contour, I am going to be using flat blending brush. This is just a regular kabuki brush, and in circular motion I am going to try to get rid of all the harsh lines. And now I'm going to move to powder highlight. This is probably one of my favorite steps in my makeup routine. To highlight my face, I am using By the Ball Merry Luminizer. Oh, this is by far my favorite highlighter. I am going to place tiny little bit right at the top of my nose, and I am going to bring it gently right to the middle of my nose. To do so, I am just using my finger because I think this is the most precise way to apply. After this, I'm going to bring a little bit of the same highlighter right on my cubic spot. This will make my lips appear a little bit bigger and it's going to define them as well. Then using partly my finger and a fan brush, I am going to highlight my cheekbones. This will make my cheekbones stand out and appear a little bit more defined. Following the highlighter, I am going to be applying a little bit of the blush to my face. I am not very much blush kind of girl, therefore I am being really gentle with it. My blush is by Max Factor and the shade is Midi Mouave. The brush I'm using to apply is by Real Techniques and this is Blusher Brush. And that's, my dear, is how I contour and highlight. This is not something that I would be doing on a daily basis, but it's a great way to make your face appear amazing when you're going out or when you perhaps have a special occasion to attend. Obviously, all the product can be replaced with your own product. These are just the products that I'm using, and this video is to show you my technique. So I hope you enjoy watching it, and I hope you've learned something new. Let me know what's your highlighting and contouring technique. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.
Comienza la fiesta.
A nie wyjdę za szlachcica, bo ma uszy jak łoślica. Nie będę jokasy jodła, bo bym jeszcze więcej zbladła. Za to będę kluski łykać, będą za mną chłopcy brykać.